Welcome to the May 31st, 2021 Advance Report from McGowanGroup clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman and President, McGowanGroup Asset Management, based right here in Dallas, with your fast-paced weekly tour of the global financial markets. We start with the Dow here. You can see this range right here that we went through January, February. So this is year-to-date Dow Jones, and you can see it was a very defined range. In this case, it appears we've entered another range between 33,500 and 35,000 on the Dow, and what we'll call the summer doldrums. So during this period, we need to study and get ready for the next correction and ready for the next rally. But part of what we're doing is figuring out what to delete from the portfolio, take back to safety and income to raise some cash. Now, this is the sector report. A couple of things come out here. Well, the blue line, if you're going to perform, this is S&P 500, but broken out by the different sectors. The blue line, still number one, is energy. Year to date, up about 40% plus dividend. Here we have the financials, up nearly 30% year to date. And catching up, or actually outperforming the past couple of weeks, notably the healthcare or the medical dividend companies. And I'm going to cover something special about that category before we wrap up here. This is a new report for McGowanGroup Asset Management's NetWorthRadio.com broadcast, and it'll be posted at NetWorthRadio.com. All of these charts are there, NetWorthRadio.com, along with more extensive research and the longer play program. What does this tell us? These are the top 10 companies in the S&P, and these are the bottom 10 for the week prior. The reason we're doing this intelligence report, I'll give you one. Ford Motor Company. Wow, turns out huge number of prepaid orders for their electric F-150 pickup truck. Wow, that was great news, up 15%. So Ford is actually killing it despite the chip shortage. NVIDIA and Applied Materials also in the chips, and they happen to make chips. So you could see how this adds value. Solar waking up again, in phase, and of course Tesla, automobile manufacturer, price year to date minus 12. But both of these, Tesla and Enphase, up 10%. Some of the green stocks actually coming back. You can see Enphase, which is solar related, was down nearly 20% for the year, actually a little more, but this week woke up. The question on clean technology, when does the infrastructure package get done, and when are these companies actually cheap enough relative to their profits? We'll be watching that. This is probably the most important slide. This is GDP. So Bloomberg, and it's posted if you want to take a closer look, it's posted at networthradio.com. What does this tell us? This is quarterly change in the U.S. economy. The pandemic shutdown was Q2 last year. Q2 this year, we're 12.8% annualized year-over-year rate of change compared there. That was a minus 9 year-over-year change, or annualized. If you do the math, the U.S. economy in dollar terms is 3% bigger than 2019 second quarter. And that's true if you do the math for these quarters, above 6% projected for Q3, Q4, and the first quarter of next year. That puts the U.S. economy not just recovered in dollar terms, but about 3% bigger than what it was in 19 pre-pandemic. That's a full recovery in dollar terms. Employment terms, there's still about 8 million jobs posted and about 8 million more people employed that need to find those jobs, and that will match up likely over the next few months. What is this? Well, special purpose acquisition companies. They had a big old frenzy in January, imploded, and you can see here down for the year. This is a way for companies to go public. The private equity companies will say, we are launching a special purpose acquisition company. They'll raise the money, and then they go find a company. It actually shortens the process for a good company to go from Well, and some bad ones too. Not all of these are good. That's part of this correction. But to go from the private market to a publicly traded multiple, in other words, like an initial public offering. And we're looking through these. These are going to be a huge variance in performance, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the capital markets, but it is a big change that shortens the process for most of these companies. Now, healthcare. This is all the way back to 1999. This is the healthcare sector as part of the S&P. Notice here a great trajectory through 2020. I wanted to point out something. Even though this is a nice increase in the valuation for those companies are still, in many cases, a fraction of the multiple you pay for the overall S&P. That's the medical dividend group. So we mentioned energy, the medical dividends, high yield we'll get to next week, and there's some special research on inflation strategy at networthradio.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with the best in financial news. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group, your financial weatherman. We sponsor each week networthradio.com broadcast. That has the charts and graphs, many of which you saw today. We also sponsor this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for fast breaking news, an alert when we post something in a market condition that may have changed. Our goal is to help you as an investor make the right decisions at the right time. And that's part of what this YouTube channel is about, as well as networthradio.com. I am well served with a team of 10 people, including myself. And that team that cares is actually made up of people who are devoted to your net profits and your success, as well as excellence in service. If you want an educational experience to follow this up, get to networthradio.com, themcgowangroup.com. Right here, we disclose our net client experience all the way back to 2001. What that includes, the bear market cycles of 02, 08, 2018, and the recoveries through the most recent quarter. That is true education of investors and exactly how our clients have done, disclosed right here. Further disclosures, value at risk of loss. Yes, investments are going to fluctuate. That's part of the reason for this broadcast. And that can actually work to your advantage. We'll build that into your plan. So I urge you to go to networthradio.com, fill out the preliminary client questionnaire, a free 1-hour brainstorming session by phone or at the Crescent in Dallas, and we will map out a multi-year plan for you and your family that's appropriate. Just because we talk about a security on this broadcast or any securities doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you have that written plan. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week as your financial weatherman.